Ladies and gentlemen, from the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice, Deacon Gerald Celente.
Hello, everyone. This is Deacon Celente of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. 3 words that we're not allowed to speak about anymore. You are banned, censored by the media, by the political system, in a country in the so-called Western democracies, if you speak about freedom, peace, and justice. There's an article that just came out today in Russia today. And this gentleman that's in charge of the Russian global affairs and he's chairman of the president of the Council on Foreign and Defense Policy said World War III has started. Here's what it looks like. And he goes on to talk. This is old news. This just came out on Friday, November 10th. We warned about this when the Ukraine war began on February 24th, 2022. And now it's expanded into the Middle East. What's going on is a horror in front of everyone's eyes to see. The mass slaughter and annihilation of innocent women and children by the Israelis. All under the line because Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th and killed some 14,000 Israelis. The news just came out from the Jewish side that they brought the number now down to 1,200. Terrible what Hamas did. Disgusting. Murderous. Just as Israel has been doing, disgusting and murderous of their slaughtering Palestinians over the last 75 years. This is a horror in front of everyone's eyes for all the world to see how they bombed Gaza into ruins, killed over 11,000 people, Palestinians, over 5,000 of them children. They call what Hamas did the worst deaths since the Holocaust. And again, Holocaust was terrible, but nobody talks about the 25 million Russians that was slaughtered in Operation Barbarossa by Adolf Hitler. The president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, said God gave Israel this land. Take it easy, Mr. Herzog. What if I don't believe in your God? What if I don't believe in your God? Oh, no, I know. I have to believe in your God. How about the God I believe in is different than yours? How about the people in Palestine? Their God is different than the one you believe in. This is a religious war. Those are the words from the United States warmongering senator. There hasn't been a war he hasn't loved, Lindsey Graham. Quote, we're in a religious war. I'm with Israel. Do what the hell you have to do to defend yourself and level the place. level the place, kill anybody that you want, all under the line, we're getting Hamas. The lies that Hamas was hiding in tunnels under hospitals. The facts are there, total lies. The information's come out. What, you're destroying a whole city of 2.3 million people to get Hamas? This is the front page of the New York Times on Friday. A man aiming a rifle towards Israeli forces in Jenin, a West Bank city. At least 18 Palestinians were killed in the territory on Thursday. How dare he aim a rifle at Israeli forces that are illegally in the West Bank, as they have been for decades, stealing land in violation of the Geneva Conventions and Article 242 of the United Nations. 17 killed yesterday. That brings the number now up since about October 7th to over 200 just in the West Bank. Just in the West Bank. And they keep stealing and stealing and stealing the land. The next article. Israel and Hamas clash over a city reduced to ruins. It makes it sound like Hamas fighting Israel reduced the city to ruins. The Israeli bombs, I think it's well over 10,000 now, that have leveled the place, destroyed schools, hospitals, mosques, and people's homes, are responsible for this, the destruction, not Hamas. Yes, Hamas is fighting them. Again, am I opposed to what Hamas did? 100%. But again, look at the facts. They turned Gaza into an open-air concentration camp where they locked these people up for almost 17 years. They'll tell you when you could go in and when you could go out. Over 60% of the people were unemployed, inhabited mostly by children, condemned by Amnesty International and others. In your Trends Journal, we had forecast on January 3rd of a Middle East meltdown. Said it was going to happen. People have no idea what led up to this. And by the way, the information is coming out from the United States, from Egypt, from Israeli intelligence, that Israel was warned about the Hamas attack, and they didn't do anything. Because one of my lines is, when all else fails, they take you to war. Let's go back to the Middle East meltdown. For 39 weeks in a row, 39 weeks in a row, hundreds of thousands of people were taking to the streets in protest of Prime Minister Netanyahu's judicial reform bill that they would push through, which basically said the courts don't count, only the politicians do. And Netanyahu is being brought up on charges for corruption. But this Judicial Reform Act would have prevented him from going to court. Not my language, the language from the Israeli press, Haaretz, the Israeli newspapers, Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel. Israel is in a civil war. Netanyahu's ratings were plummeting. Plummeting. Week after week after week. And do you know what they called the government that was in charge? Extreme right wing. Yep. That's what they called it. An MP and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition government called for Israel to engage in a decisive war against Palestinians to avoid the semi-annual conflicts that end with a tense peace agreement. And it goes on to say that Zivka Fogel, a member of the Itamar Ben-Gvir ultra-nationalist Jewish Power Party, told an Israeli news station that there should be a final war that subdues Palestinians once and for all. It would be worth it because this will be the final war, and after that, we can sit and raise doves and all the other beautiful birds that exist. Yep. Israel is not a democracy. So for all these politicians calling it a democracy, they should go back to when they had, as reported by Vox, Israel's hugely controversial nation-state law explained. This is July 31st, 2018. Israel passed a controversial new nation-state law last week that's sparking both celebration and fierce debate over the very nation of Israel itself. The law does three big things. Number one, it states that the right to exercise national self-determination in Israel, you ready, is unique to the Jewish people. Okay, let's stop there. Don't call it a democracy. The 20% of the Arabs, they're not unique. Only the Jewish people are unique. The Arabs and others don't count. Don't call it a democracy. It is a religious state. And as Lindsey Graham said, we're fighting a religious war. What if I don't believe in your God? And by the way, speaking of God, on the back of all the currencies in the United States, it says, "In God we trust." What God you talking about? And that Russian guy that just said World War III has started, he's a year late, as I said. It started with the Ukraine war when Russia invaded Ukraine, which I'm totally opposed to, but again, totally understand why. Where are the Seventh-day Adventists? Waiting for the eighth day? Where are the Quakers? They all died in an earthquake? All you peace-loving Quakers? Where are the Baptists? Where are the Catholics? Where are all the religions? Genocide is being committed in front of the eyes for all to see. Going back to the nation-state law, it establishes Hebrew, this is from Vox, this isn't my language, as Israel's official language and downgrades Arabic. Number three, it establishes, quote, Jewish settlements as a national value, end quote, and mandates that the state, quote, will labor to encourage and promote their establishments and developments. Settlements? Stealing land in front of everybody's eyes for all to see? when the Netanyahu government came back into power, we wrote in the Trends Journal week after week after week from December to October 7th, the atrocities that the Israelis were committing against the Palestinians. Week after week after week. Totally forgotten. World War III has begun. There's a thing called, from Israel, the Samson Option. The Samson Option is that if Israel has to do all it can, thinks that they're losing, it's nuclear bombs away. They're reported to have between 200 to 600 nuclear weapons. And the United States, by the way, says that they won't do business with anybody that has nuclear weapons, that doesn't allow the United Nations and the Nuclear Atomic Energy, whatever it is, Commission to look at them, that they won't do business with them. But that the United States has given Israel almost $300 billion since they were created in 1948. Joe Biden is sending another $14.3 billion to keep bloodying the killing fields. The Samson Option is that if Israel's losing, it's nuclear bombs away, which will be the beginning of the end of life on earth. Evil people are in charge right in front of everybody's eyes to see. On an up note, Jewish Voice for Peace. Jewish Voice for Peace, right here in Kingston, right around the corner, on Thursday. There had to be between 1,500 to 2,000 people out on the street chanting for peace and ceasefire. Totally opposed. Jewish people totally opposed to what Israel is doing. Totally opposed to it. And millions around the planet protesting. These are the biggest protests I've seen since the Vietnam War. Yeah. And the Vietnam War protests are mostly in the United States. These are going global. And they're trying to stop them in France, in Germany, in England, but the people are still going out. And they use the line that you're anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic for condemning Israel. Save it. I'm not anti-American when I condemn America for its wars. I'm not anti-American for launching Occupy Peace. And I'm not anti-Jewish for condemning Israel's genocide for all to see. And I'm not anti-Semitic because the Palestinians are Semites. The people running Israel, Netanyahu, Golda Meir, Ben Gurion, one after another, they're not Semites. They're Ashkenazi Jews from Eastern Europe. So condemning them does not make me or anyone condemning them an anti-Semite because they're not Semites. They're Eastern Europeans. But they use the propaganda to silence people. So here's the bottom line. World War III's begun. It's up to you to stop it. Jewish Voice for Peace, what they're doing are showing people power. My heart cried when I saw how powerful it was. And I've been having nightmares virtually every night, thinking about the slaughter of innocent Palestinian people. Imagine your home being bombed into obliteration. Imagine if the people in Gaza were Jewish and the Palestinians were bombing them like this. Oh, Oh, what would Lindsey Graham say? Level them? No. We have to stop this war, and it's up to you. United we stand, divided we die. And again, Jewish Voice for Peace, they're doing it. So please support Occupy Peace or the church, Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice, and do anything you can in the name of peace. Anything you can in the name of peace. Because if we don't, we're going to be annihilated in nuclear war. Thank you, and amen, and amen.